Hello everyone, Tom here at Capo Fetish. I've always been a big fan of compilation records. You know, back in the 80s I'd make a lot of mixtapes, in the 90s I would make a lot of CD compilations, but these are just commercial released compilations, and I've pulled out about 20 or 25 of these albums that I feel are just absolute perfect compilations. And there's nothing like a well-curated compilation representing an artist at a particular time or period. So anyway, these are not in any ranking order. It's just random. So I'm going to start off with The Who's Meaty Beaty Big and Bouncy record, which I feel is one of the great compilations. Covers their 60s period, everything from like My Generation to the Tommy record. There's only one Tommy cut on here, Pinball Wizard, but just a slew of just their best from the 60s. The Seeker, which was a single, My Generation, Pictures of Lily, Anywhere, Anyhow, Anywhere, Anyway, Boris the Spider, Magic Bus, Substitute. This really represents The Who, in my opinion, at their finest, where they're just cranking out just great pop songs with an edge. So that's one of them. Another one, too, that's had a lot of attention over the years, and deservedly so, is the Credence Clearwater Revival, The Chronicles double album. There's just not a single bad spot on this record. Every song you've heard and is fantastic. Everything from Susie Q to Someday Never Comes. Roughly about 20 tunes. Perfect compilation here. If you had to get one Credence album, this would be it right here. This covers all their most popular songs. And it's fantastic. Another one, too, from the 80s I've mentioned in previous videos is the Smiths' Hatful of Hollow compilation. It actually plays more like a record, but it does feature BBC sessions, John Peel sessions, outtakes, B-sides, a few singles from '84. And to me, as far as like every song is just perfection and awesome. So if you've never heard this, check it out. The Smiths' Hatful of Hollow. This is my favorite Smiths album. And we go back to 1974 for this compilation. As far as like Beach Boys pre-Pet Sounds, pre-66 compilations go, you really can't beat Endless Summer. There's only 20 songs on here, but everyone's a banger. You know, everything from Surfin' Safari to All Summer Long. Then it even has a couple of my favorites of the 65 period. Girl Don't Tell Me, which was sung by Carl Wilson, and Girl Don't Tell Me, and You're So Good to Me, so great. Of course, it has all the hits. Be True to Your School, Little Disc Coupe, etc., etc. But indeed, a perfect compilation. I think this spent quite a while at #1 in the 70s. And unfortunately, this was kind of the start of the Beach Boys' nostalgia period. They never really made another great album, in my opinion, after Holland. And this was kind of the start of their kind of nostalgic trek that has gone on for decades at this point. But an excellent, excellent compilation, Endless Summer, Beach Boys. Then we go to the 80s for the Buzzcocks, Singles Going Steady. Buzzcocks were a great singles band. Just one great song after another. Orgasm Addict, I Don't Mind, Love You More. I love Why Can't I Touch It? I guess that was kind of more of an early 80s hit or single. But it just rocks from start to finish. Every song is a banger. It's fantastic. Buzzcocks, Singles Going Steady. We go back to the 60s for a little bit for the retrospective album from Buffalo Springfield. Every great Buffalo Springfield song is on here, from Bluebird to Mr. Soul, I Am a Child, Expecting to Fly, Broken Arrow. This is a Neil Young masterpiece. Fantastic stuff here. Every song's perfect. And then if I was to say, if you were to buy a Leonard Cohen album, I'd probably say get the first album. But if you want kind of a slew of his early period of great songs, I'd probably pick this first best of compilation. Has some of his great early stuff like Suzanne, Sisters of Mercy, Bird on the Wire, Lady Midnight, Chelsea Hotel. Not a bad song on this compilation, and really showcases Leonard's brilliance, his early brilliance. Back to the 80s for the Jam. Gotta love this double album, Snap. Has all their great singles and some various album cuts. Good stuff. Everything from In the City to Beat Surrender. Pretty much everything from 77 to 82. There are different mixes on here. I think Eaton Rifles is the single version, not the version on Setting Suns. And Strange Town's on here. That wasn't on any album, but it was featured on the Setting Sun's US version, but this is another just perfect compilation record, The Jam Snap. Another great one is from 1972, is the Kink Chronicles. This is a really eclectic, just flawless, perfect compilation record, covering their golden period, as some people say, from 66 to 72, or 66 to 71. It has everything from Face to Face to the movie Percy on there. We have God's Children, which is amazing, Shangri-La, Victoria. A lot of songs that weren't released here in the US at the time, like Berkeley Muse, Big Black Smoke, which I think was a flip side, but just not a bad song. This really showcases the eclecticism of Ray Davies' songwriting during this period from 66 through 71. Can't go wrong with this. To the 70s we go with Changes One Bowie. It's a little short on songs, but every song is amazing. Space Oddity, it has John I'm Only Dancing, which wasn't on any released album. It was just a single. Changes, Ziggy Stardust, Suffragette City, Gene Genie, Fame, Golden Years. Perfect compilation. This came out around 76, I believe. And then you've got, of course, Bob Marley's Legend. Even though it doesn't have songs from, let's see, Survival or Rasputin Vibration, it's a perfect compilation. Sold millions. Is This Love, New Woman, No Cry, Jamming, etc., etc. Every song on here is a huge song and an excellent compilation. Also, in the early 2000s, I picked up this Simon and Garfunkel compilation. There used to be one called Greatest Hits, which had interspersed live cuts. I always thought that was a little jarring, that particular compilation, but this is absolutely perfect. There's about 20 songs on here. It even has their little reunion song called My Little Town on here, but every tune from Cecilia, Mrs. Robinson, At the Zoo, some of the, you know, kind of unknown album, more of the album cuts, not the singles. At the Zoo, Hazy Shade of Winter. Yeah, just fantastic. I'm a Rock, the early stuff. This is, I think, the best Simon & Garfunkel compilation on the market, if it's still available. Another great one is Al Green's Greatest Hits. This is just, there was a period in my life where I was playing this non-stop. It's just such a great uplifting record. All the hits, Tired of Being Alone, Call Me. Then it has a couple of bonus cuts like Bell, which is such a great tune. It's another great one. Perfect compilation. We got Hot Rocks by the Rolling Stones. This is the first Rolling Stone record I ever bought. Every song is perfect. Covers the Stones' golden period from like 64 to 71. I know they put out great albums after 71, but as far as just their golden period, you just can't beat it. Time Is on My Side, Brown Sugar, Gimme Shelter. Has the live version of Midnight Rambler from Get Your Yagas Out. It's just a classic album here. Perfect. And then, you know, except for the few first Chicago records, Chicago was kind of spotty on their albums, but you really can't beat their Greatest Hits record, 75. Just great songs. Beginnings, Do You Really Know What Time It Is? Does anybody really know what time it is? Yes. And you've got, what else do you have? Color My World. Really everything that was great about Chicago up to about 75, before they slowly started going into that Air Supply territory. But this is a fantastic, great album. 25 or 64s on here, and just great stuff. Make Me Smile, good stuff. Another great one. This is not available anymore. It's been supplemented by many, but this is a great Yardbirds compilation released in 67. And Shapes of Things, I'm a Man, Happenings 10 Years Time Ago, Over, Under, Sideways, Down, I'm Not Talking. A live version of Smokestack Lightning. Perfect compilation here from the Yardbirds. Doesn't really get much better. Sometimes less is more, you know what I mean? Sometimes with compilations, the best of, they just cram everything in the kitchen sink. You know, I'm more about the consistency of a listen. Now, it's all about consistency, and this is very consistent. Another great one, Sly and the Family Stone's Greatest Hits. It has the single of Thank You for Letting Me Be Myself Again and Everybody's a Star. Great double-sided single. All the great songs, I Want to Take You Higher. You know, Hot Fun in the Summertime. a perfect compilation and a perfect party album for a Saturday night. Another great one, great dance, just uplifting compilation is James Brown's 20 Greatest Hits. There are some edits on here, but not like there's like an edited version of Mother Popcorn. I like the full extended version that's on the Start Time box set, but you really can't beat any tune on here. I Got You, Mother Popcorn, Think, some of those early hits, Night Train, Cold Sweat, Please, Please, Please. Excellent. And then also in the early 2000s, they kind of re-released the Nuggets compilation. This is a 20-song compilation right here. Has all the great 60s garage rock classics, Lies by the Knickerbockers, You're Gonna Miss Me by the 13th Floor Elevators, Hey Joe, the original version by the Leaves, Love 7 and 7 Is, and on, Wooly Bully, perfection. And then another great one is Donovan's Greatest Hits. Not a bad tune on this. Again, less is more, you know. Everything on here is fantastic. Mellow Yellow, Sunshine Superman, Hurdy Gurdy Man, Epistle to Dippy, Where Your Love Like Heaven, Jennifer Juniper, Colors, Catch the Wind, There Is a Mountain, Season of the Witch, Lelena. Perfect compilation. And then we've got this. There's another great compilation that they released in early 2000s, the Animals Retrospective. Has every major Animals hit, and it also features. They also throw in "Spill the Wine" by War, just as a little extra bonus. This is excellent. And then another one too. If you're just looking for a very simple Birds compilation, the first Birds compilation, the Greatest Hits, is excellent from start to finish. Everything from 65 to 67 is on here, from Mr. Tambourine Man to My Back Pages, all played in chronological order. Good stuff. And also the Santana's Greatest Hits here. We had some great albums, Abraxas, the first album, their third album, but this really nails it in about 10 songs. Perfect compilation. So those are just a slew of compilations I dig. There's a bazillion out there. These are ones I just came across at the top of my head. And that's about it, folks. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.